Hey, what is up guys? In today's episode, I'm gonna show you how to clean your glass the proper way as well as restore your headlight to a crystal clear factory looking OEM headlight. This is the second part of the salvage CRV build. A month ago, it was really difficult for me to drive my rear wheel Lexus in the Canadian winter. So I decided to go ahead and buy myself a salvaged 4-wheel drive. And guess what? I bought this 2009 Honda CRV EXL for only $1,000 from auction. The kilometers are a bit high. It's about 280,000 kilometers as of today. However, this car has leather seats, sunroof, all-wheel drive system, and it comes with dual climate control. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to remove the auction lot markings as well as clean your glass properly and restore your British looking headlights. Pun intended. I will use the tack cloth, glass cleaner, cordless drill with 3-inch polishing pad attachment, various grit of sanding paper, masking tape, masking sheet, or I also like to reuse those unwanted paper flyers, cutting compound with finishing polish, and finally clear coat. If you purchased a car from an auction, you'll find these dry erase liquid chalk markers used for writing stock number, year, and other related information on the windshield or windows, and there are a couple of ways to remove them, such as using glass cleaner and a razor combination. But in today's video, I'm going to use a common kitchen sponge and glass cleaner to remove these markings because the sponge will not scratch your glass, as you'll see in this video. Now let's have a look at these yellow headlights. I'm not surprised to see this much salt on these headlights after seeing what the cabin filter looked like in the previous episode. I'm going to start off by masking the headlights with masking tape, and I also like to reuse paper flyers that I keep getting in my mailbox. It's important to take note that these headlights are pretty old, so I'm going to try my best to restore them to their original shine. I'm going to start by first cleaning off the headlights and wiping them using a tack cloth. Once it's dry and free of any residual debris, I'm going to start off by wet sanding with 320 grit sandpaper. Notice how I'm alternating the direction of sanding as well as continuously spraying the headlight with water to keep debris out and to keep the headlights wet. And that's because the aim here is to remove as much salt as possible while also washing heavy residue away. I'm going to gradually increase the grit size from 320 to 400 and up to 2000 grit, and this way I will be able to achieve a smooth headlight surface. Remember, your headlight surface needs to be as smooth as possible for the clear coat to bond to. Now it's time to do the other side. I'll repeat the same exact process, starting with 320 grit and gradually increasing to 2000 grit. And uneven sanded surface is one of the reasons why clear coat starts cracking on your headlight. If your headlights look consistently foggy when dry, that means you did a really good job. The key here is to make sure you alternate your pattern of sanding and keep the work area wet. We're almost done here. Now it's time to polish. First, I'm going to use a 3-inch polishing wool pad on a cordless drill and Meguiar's 105 Ultra Cut compound, which will be then followed by Meguiar's 205 Ultra Finishing polish. It's basically the same principle. We use the coarse grit first and finish with a fine polish. You want to make sure to evenly spread out the compound by gently tapping around the work area and mix the polish with the low speed first, and once you have covered the work area, then apply the higher speed your drill can support and polish with overlaying passes. If the first pass is horizontal, then the next one should be vertical in order to achieve a consistent polish. I like to go again with another fresh round of the same polish so I can have a cleaner cut finish. Now I'm going to use a 205 Ultra Finishing polish with the same method. First tap around the work area and then spread the polish consistently. Then start polishing in a single direction with overlaying passes followed by a perpendicular path. I'm done polishing one side and check the difference. I cannot believe the headlight went from this yellow faded look to this clean OEM look. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other headlight and we'll see the results after the time lapse. I'm gonna let the headlight polish stay for a while and come back around a week later to seal the deal with a thick layer of clear coat. And the reason is because the fresh polish residue might react with the clear coat. So I'm gonna let it dry up for a week. I am back after a week, so now it's time to clean up the headlight to prepare it for a fresh clear coat. Also, it's about minus 25 degrees in Canada West, so I'm keeping the room temperature to positive degrees with a space heater. And this tiny device should be able to set the room for the right temperature for the clear coat to dry properly. Alright, so I used a plastic drop sheet on the front end of the whole car, as you can see. And I'm going to use this clear coat. This is an acrylic lacquer clear coat, which is pretty okay for the application for headlight restoration. And if it's for a paint purpose, I will use a 2K based paint, which I will show later on for my rear hatch paint job. It is kind of cold right now outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and warm the can up. I'm using a small living room heater here at the garage so that I can keep the environment a bit heated up, because you want to be able to spray paint in a warm, nice atmosphere. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a final wipe on the headlights so that there is no debris. And if I feel no debris, I'm going to go ahead and clear coat it. Alright, so because I came back after a couple of weeks, I can see that the polish did an absolutely phenomenal job, but there is some kind of fogginess here. That's the exact thing we want to get rid of using the clear coat. Imagine you pour some water here, and the clarity you get by putting some water is exactly the clarity you want to achieve by spraying some clear coat. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a thin layer of clear coat around the edges, and after that I'm going to start applying heavier coats so that it dries up with a thick layer. Alright, so I'm going to test the clear coat out first by spraying it away, and if the nozzle works properly, I'm going to go ahead and spray the headlight. So I'm going to test it out if the spray actually works. Alright, so the spray paint currently works, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the paint safely. But always remember to wear a respirator. I'm going to use an N95 mask to protect myself and carry on with the work. So I'm going to go ahead with my first light coat, followed by 2 heavier coats. While I'm waiting for the first coat to dry up, I'm going to do the same on the other headlight. And there are a couple of other reasons why clear coat starts forming cracks on your headlight. Some reasons are uneven sanding, oil grease or residue on your headlight, applying heavy clear coats first instead of light coats, spraying clear coat from a closer distance instead of applying the clear coat from at least 30 to 40 centimeters away. And finally, one of the common mistakes people also make is to forget the temperature. The headlight surface temperature must be at least in the room temperature. The clear coat will bond to your headlight surface between the positive range of 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. So always make sure to heat up the space or the headlights a couple of minutes before applying the clear coat. Check this out. I am super happy with the results I have achieved, going from awfully yellow salty headlights to this clear OEM looking factory headlights. And the best part is you can do exactly the same thing at home too. I used common home materials and some polish to make sure I achieved this clear consistent headlight look. Well, not bad for a $1,000 auction car. I have tons of other things to start doing on this 2009 Honda CR-V that I bought from auction. And if you're interested in watching the auction video, do check out the previous auction episode. As always, if you've learned something new, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.